Welcome back. Now, it's hard to interview someone who lost close relatives in the Mumbai terror attack. But you go with the conviction that the stories need to be told. But it's not their pain or their grief that makes you feel guilty as you invade their grieving space. It's their strength, their composure that completely dwarfs you, that makes you look down as your eyes brim with tears, even as they look you straight in the eye and tell you their story, like Shruti Narang. A steady gaze, a firm expression, and not a tear running down her cheek. Only the dark circles around her eyes betray that Shruti Jalan Narang hasn't slept since 26/11, the day her life changed forever.
I lost my husband, I lost my in-laws, and my sister-in-law is critical and she's battling for her life, not knowing that she's lost her entire family.
That night, Shruti and her family were at the Taj celebrating the birthday of her husband of 2 years and companion for the last 10, Gunjan Narang. When terror struck, they were moved into a safe location by the hotel staff. Early morning, they were being evacuated and were almost safely out of the hotel when terrorists started firing at them. In that split second of terror, the family was separated. Shruti and her parents got out safe, but her husband and in-laws were stuck inside.
And we really ran for our lives at that moment, because if we had even stopped for a second, I know I would have been shot, because the person behind me definitely didn't make it. None of us saw any security. Neither did my husband see in the kitchen any security. So he said, please inform the Taj security that me and my dad are stuck inside the wine cellar. Do something. Help me. I can hear gunshots. And I was so helpless at that point of time.
In the chaos and panic, her pleas for help to the policemen and Navy personnel at the spot, she says, went unheeded.
Oh, why don't you look in the hospitals? Have you looked in the morgues? Did you find them dead somewhere? I said, are you telling me to look for my husband dead, or are you trying to tell me that look for my family in a morgue at this moment when I'm trying to ask you for help?
But the morgue is where she found her husband and in-laws the following evening. A horror that could break the strongest person, but not Shruti.
If he'd see me crying, he would just tell me, what are you crying over? Move on. And that's how he would want me to be. I need to take this as a lesson, his sacrifice that he has done for his country. I need to bring that forward as my mission. And if I grieve and I sit and I mop over myself, what is going to happen? Nothing. I need to get this message out to the entire country that we need to do something.
Courage truly comes in many forms, and Mumbai has truly seen all kinds of heroes, from those who gave up their lives protecting us to those like Shruti, who despite heavy personal losses inspire us to stand up and speak out.
This Air India building here became the exit route to safety. Hostages came out in small batches, some injured and some with tears rolling down their cheeks. But leading their way were these composed hotel staff members. These heroes still choose to be in shadows, as to them their face is not important, but duty is. Probably that's what kept them on their toes that night. Seemingly an ordinary evening.
I had just approached the lobby. While running, we entered into the overall lobby, and I moved straight into tiffin and started shouting to evacuate and to run. All the guests started running towards the service doors. So while some people ran towards the kitchen, some people chose to duck. And that's when I could see some people falling to the ground, being hit by bullets. We moved behind the tables. We started encouraging people to start moving towards us to gather some courage. I clearly remember that there was a guest who was gasping for breath. I even picked up a water bottle to give him water. In that entire process, we managed to get around 8 to 10 people who were injured out towards safety. The firing from the Kandahar, the mezzanine floor, resumed. At every point of time, somebody stood up to be a leader and said, okay, you follow me, because we all know where safety is. There was no thought of being a hero. I was purely human. I was purely a hotelier. I did cry once I spoke about my colleague who passed away. I haven't mourned enough, so I'm guilty of that. A lot has changed in me. I want to live today rather than think of tomorrow. I want to ensure that I give smiles to the people around me just for today. My face is not extremely important because I represent my entire team, my colleagues who were part of this process.
I don't think of fear. Does anybody think of dying at that moment when we were small, precious babies?